The Price is Right scene that's forever in our minds. The craziest, most memorable moments of The Price is Right. In honor of the iconic game show's 50th anniversary, we're taking a look back at some of the most insane, outrageous, and downright unforgettable moments in The Price is Right history. From contestants fainting to wild displays of emotion and even a proposal. Here are the most crazy, memorable moments from The Price is Right. The time a contestant fainted after winning a car. In 2008, a contestant on The Price is Right made game show history when she fainted after winning a car. Contestant Vicky Nagayan was so excited that she won a new Toyota Prius that she literally couldn't stand it. As soon as host Drew Carey announced that she'd won, Nagayan fell to the ground and began hyperventilating. Crew members rushed to her aid and helped her up off the floor before escorting her off stage. Fortunately, Nagayan wasn't seriously injured and was able to laugh about the incident later. In an interview with USA Today, she said, "It was just one of those things where everything hit me at once. I've never fainted before in my life." Nagayan's faint was captured on camera and quickly went viral, becoming one of the most memorable moments in Price is Right history. It also spawned a number of memes and GIFs that are still popular today. If you're ever feeling down, just watch Nagayan's reaction to winning a car and try not to smile. It's impossible. The time a marriage proposal happened on air. On September 4th, 2009, The Price is Right made television history when contestant Sean Reynolds proposed to his girlfriend, Lisa Peterson, during the Showcase Showdown. It was a moment that took both the studio audience and viewers at home by surprise. After spinning the big wheel and finding himself in second place, Reynolds knew he needed to make his move if he wanted to win Peterson's hand in marriage. Luckily, host Drew Carey was more than happy to oblige, and with the help of a few strategically placed balloons, Reynolds popped the question. The rest, as they say, is history. Thanks to that fateful spin of the wheel, The Price is Right will always have a special place in both Reynolds and Peterson's hearts. The time a contestant set off the smoke alarm. On a recent episode of The Price is Right, one of the contestants set off the smoke alarm during one of the challenges. While it may have seemed like a funny moment at the time, it was actually a serious safety violation. Smoke alarms are installed in homes and businesses to protect against fires, and setting one off intentionally can put people at risk. In this case, the contestant was quickly removed from the game and escorted off the premises. While it may have made for good television, setting off a smoke alarm is no laughing matter. The time a contestant fell off her chair. In 2014, contestant Ashley won a car on The Price is Right. She was so excited that she jumped out of her chair and ran towards the car. However, in her excitement, she forgot to put the chair back in its proper place. As a result, when host Drew Carey went to sit down, he ended up falling out of the chair and onto the floor. The incident quickly went viral, with many people finding it hilarious. Luckily, neither Drew Carey nor Ashley were hurt in the fall. However, it did provide for some laughs and memorable moments on The Price is Right. The time a contestant won a trip to Hawaii. On December 12, 2016, contestant Michael Stiang made game show history when he won a trip to Hawaii by correctly guessing the price of a box of cereal on The Price is Right. It was an incredible feat, not only because it's notoriously difficult to win any contest on The Price is Right, but also because the trip was valued at over $10,000. After his dramatic win, Stiang said that he'd been watching the show for years and always dreamed of being a contestant. He wasn't sure if he'd ever get the chance, but when he saw the sign-up sheets at his workplace, he decided to give it a shot. As it turns out, his years of watching paid off, and he's now the proud owner of an all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii. Thanks to Stiang's lucky guess, The Price is Right will surely go down in history as one of the greatest game shows of all time. The time a contestant won a new house. On March 26, 1984, a contestant named Michael Stouffer won a new house by correctly guessing the price of a washing machine on The Price is Right. It was an unprecedented moment in game show history, and it changed the way contestants played the game forever. Before Stouffer's win, contestants would typically try to get as close to the actual price of the prize without going over. But after watching Stouffer win a new house with a single guess, they began to realize that it was possible to win big by taking a risk. As a result, contestants began bidding more aggressively, and The Price is Right became even more popular than it had before. Thanks to Michael Stouffer, winning a new house on The Price is Right is no longer just a pipe dream. The time someone won a year's supply of toilet paper. On a memorable episode of The Price is Right, a contestant named Sheila won a year's supply of toilet paper. It was an amazing prize, and Sheila was thrilled to have won it. She excitedly talked about how she'd never have to worry about running out of toilet paper again. However, her fellow contestants were not so enthusiastic. One woman said that she'd rather have won a trip to Hawaii, while another said that she didn't need that much toilet paper. Nevertheless, Sheila was elated with her winnings and said that it was the best day ever. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to say the same thing about winning a year's supply of toilet paper. The time a contestant won an African safari. On October 5, 1983, contestant Janice DeLeon became the first and only person to win an African safari on The Price is Right. The trip was worth over $40,000 and included airfare, lodging, and all meals. DeLeon won the safari by correctly guessing the retail price of a camcorder. While her trip was certainly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, it didn't come without its challenges. Just days before she was set to depart, DeLeon was diagnosed with malaria and had to be hospitalized. Thankfully, she made a full recovery in time for her adventure. The time TV presenter Danielle Atkin suffers wardrobe malfunction. On a recent episode of The Price is Right, TV presenter Danielle Atkin suffered a minor wardrobe malfunction. As she was demonstrating a piece of exercise equipment, her top came undone, exposing her bare chest. However, Atkin quickly recovered and continued with the show as if nothing had happened. The incident highlighted the importance of delayed reactions in television. If Atkin had reacted immediately to her exposed chest, it would have been very awkward for both her and the audience. By waiting a few seconds and then carrying on, she diffused the situation and prevented it from being a major distraction. Well done, Danielle. The time that Snoop Dogg appeared. The time a contestant when Snoop Dogg appeared on The Price is Right was pretty funny. He was dressed in all white and had a big afro. The contestant that he was helping couldn't quite get the prices right, but Snoop Dogg did his best to help her out. She ended up winning a new car. It was a pretty funny episode. The time a contestant won $1 million. On October 31st, 2019, contestant James Woods made history when he became the first person to win $1 million on The Price is Right. It was the show's Halloween special, and Woods was dressed as Elvis Presley. He was playing the game Plinko, and his final chip landed in the $1 million slot. The crowd went wild, and Woods was visibly overwhelmed with emotion. After taxes, he took home just over $600,000, but it was still an incredible win. Even host Drew Carey was excited, high-fiving Woods and congratulating him on his big win. For many fans, it was a moment they'll never forget. The time a contestant won a trip to Europe. It was a typical episode of Price is Right, contestants guessing the price of everyday items, vying for a chance to spin the big wheel, and cheering whenever someone won a new car. Then one lucky contestant changed the game forever when she won a trip to Europe. It was a moment that caused everyone in the studio and at home to gasp in disbelief. For the rest of the show, all anyone could talk about was the trip to Europe and how amazing it would be to win such an incredible prize. In a single moment, the contestant had not only made history, but also inspired dreaming and hope in everyone who watched. The time a contestant gave a perfect forecast. In 2019, former weatherman Terry Neese took The Price is Right by storm. Then, in his late 50s, contestant Neese correctly guessed the price of each prize in the Showcase Showdown down to the cent. Viewers, producers, and even host Drew Carey feared Neese was cheating somehow. However, the truth was much less nefarious. Neese was a good study. It turned out that the show used the same prizes over and over again in different combinations. Neese studied the series intently for months, memorizing every price. The time contestants got a three-way tie. On a recent episode of The Price is Right, history was made when all three contestants ended up with the same score after the final round. This resulted in a tie for first place, and the show's host had to make a decision on how to break it. After some deliberation, he decided that all three contestants would spin the wheel again, with the winner advancing to the Showcase Showdown. This resulted in an exciting finish, and the lucky contestant went on to win a brand new car. It was a close call, but in the end, justice was served and everyone went home happy. Whether you've been watching The Price is Right for years or you're just tuning in now, one thing's for sure, it's always unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen next, and that's part of what makes the show so fun to watch. Here's hoping we see many more crazy, memorable moments in the years to come.